Hi everyone, as you can see we're going to have a little play with needle felting today and also some stitching. I have a 4-inch square of jeans fabric, like some denim, and we're just going to make a little picture, and it's going to be something that anybody can do. There's no complicated rules for this. I'm going to simply lay this on. So I'm using some white, but I'm only going to put it on like very faint. And I'm going to make a little moon picture. If I remember, I'll put it up before I start. No guarantees I'll remember. As you know, I've only just got into the needle felting. I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest. I do quite like it. I'm still learning, so we're just going to go and see what we can do and the sort of effects we can get with it. I think that's what I'm planning. So I'm not using much, just ripping up little tiny bits, and I'm just going to cover all the way down to here. I'll put a little bit up there because I've got some on my hand. Oh, and obviously pull it straight back off again, so you can go back down. I want to use some green, so I'm going to make a little frame like this, and we're just going to get some little bits of green, and we're going to put 2 different colours. I did see this on a little short on YouTube, but obviously this is my interpretation because I couldn't make one like they've made. It's really good. So I'm just doing my own version. I'll try and remember to link, but I don't think it's a video. I think it was just like a short, and I just thought, oh, that seems doable. You know, when you're a beginner, you think, oh, I don't want to do anything too complicated. This seems like I might be able to do it. So I'm having a go. And I'm going to put a little bit of dark green as well in there. Just a bit. Just to some different colouring. Probably can't even tell. Yeah, I still don't really know if I like this, but I do think it will add an element into my stitching. Right, I'm going to get this down because I keep jabbing it back up. So I'm going to very quickly do some stabbing and get this down onto the fabric. And it will go straight through. Yep, it's going through. So I'll be back when I've done this, because this is not TV viewing. This is just poking. It's very satisfying when you're doing it, but not much fun to watch, I shouldn't imagine. And we're going to have plenty of time to chat because I'm going to do some stitching as well. So while I'm doing this boring bit, right, I'm going to try and add a moon up in the sky. So this should be fun. And we're going to roll a piece up. I could use a bit of fabric, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go at this. Let's put it up here and try not to get my fingers. Little moonlit scene. Which I quite like. I was thinking about putting a bit of purple, but I have just sort of put a little tiny bit of grey and a little tiny bit of blue at the bottom, because it's not dark. My moon's a very funny shape. I'm not worried. It can be a funny shape. Right, that's enough pokey-in. I'm going to do some stitching now, and I'm going to do some flowers at the bottom. And you know what's going to happen, don't you? They're going to be French knots. So this is a very easy beginner project. I'm going to cut off all these little extra bits. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but I'm going to. There we go. Just because. And they can go in my little saver pot. So basically I'm just going to do some stitching over the top of my needle felting. Little clusters of flowers, and I've got loads of different colours out. There we go. So just a case of doing French knots. French knots are pretty invaluable when it comes to slow stitching, I think. I think if you can do a French knot, you can pretty much make a really cool picture. And it doesn't matter if they're loopy. It doesn't matter at all. You just do them. You come up, twirl once. I'm just going to do lots. So if you are wanting to learn the French knot and you don't want to have to keep rewinding a video to see how they did it, then you can just watch me do this. And by the end of it, you're going to be an expert French knotter. That's such a thing. And all I'm doing is using up my scraps of thread. So I've got my little jar. Look, there's not many left. And I had lots of colours. So I don't use a lot of bright colours. I use a lot of blue. I've used loads of blue just lately. I've been playing in my mermaid book without you. So it seems to have lost its popularity. So I'm going to finish it off. And I'm enjoying just doing it on my own. And what we're going to do is we're going to start a new scrappy book next time. Next week. Get your scraps out. We're going to just make a scrappy book. And it's just going to be full of fun. And I think that's the way to go. I mean, the mermaid book is great, but, you know, you might not have a little bag of scraps like I was just so lucky to get. So you can use your scraps, whichever ones you've got and you want to use up. And we're going to use up our threads as well. I know some people have got a lot of threads, haven't they, Lynn? Got a lot of threads to use up. And I know you've all got scraps, so that's our mission next week. That's one colour down. Let's choose another colour. Let's have this lovely yellowy green. And we'll just carry on. And we'll just do some more French knots. So, yeah, just stitch along with me. I'll be on in the background while you're stitching. Just chatting about probably nothing earth-shatteringly, amazingly interesting. But just chatting. We'll be off on our little trip in the camper van next week. But I'm going to pre-do the video, the scrappy video, which will come up while I'm away. So I've got plenty of time. This weekend's a bit busy. I'm helping my friend to move house. They've just bought a new house. It's their first house together. They've just got married. And they're amalgamating two houses into one, which I suppose is always fun. So I'm going along to, you know, not lift anything heavy, but, you know, carry a few little boxes like you do. Yes, this was the same friend that got married before. I might have mentioned it before. They got married in December. And the buying the house has been a bit of a trial. It's been on and off, but it's finally happened, and they're moving in on Friday. So all fabulous. What other news have I got? I am doing a lot of gardening at the moment. I'll show you some photos of what I've done so far. I don't know if I've got any before photos. I'll show you those because I have been, what's the word? I've been hacking down bamboo and pampas grass. Now, if any of you know what a pampas grass is, I'll show you a photo. It's quite, I wouldn't say invasive, but it's very sturdy. It does not like to leave quietly. I've been trying to get rid of it, but it just seems to grow more. More things at the bottom that come up every year. And it's quite tricky. So yeah, I've got to try and tackle that root today. So I'm expecting to have a bad back by the time I've finished. But I thought, I'll get my stitching video done first, and then I'll go out and do a bit more gardening. Because, you can only do a bit at a time. I've been down to the gardening tip again today. He sort of looked at me and says, weren't you here last week with a car full of garden stuff? And I was like, mm-hmm. And I'll be back again next week with some more. Because I've been cutting a big tree down as well. So it's all clearing, isn't it, at this time of the year? Well, in the UK it is. It's like sort of clearing the decks and cutting back all the old winter growth, which I suppose I should have done earlier, but it was so cold I couldn't face it. Couldn't face it, guys. And it's just warm enough now to go out in the garden without having to take my jumper off. And I can't take my jumper off because I'm allergic to most of the plants. I come out in I don't think I've still got it. I think it's gone. Almost. I get scratched and then it comes up in big red marks. So I have to take an antihistamine and put some cream on. But, I do quite like playing in the garden. And I want to get my little greenhouse out as well and start growing stuff. I want to grow potatoes. I know, a bit random, but I thought I quite like the idea of doing some potatoes. They're not very nice at the moment. You sort of think, I've got a nice bag of potatoes, and you start peeling them, and they're sort of all horrible inside. They've all got, they're just not very good at the moment. I'm not happy with the quality. And it doesn't matter where you shop, I think they're all the same. It's probably something to do with the weather, I guess. We blame the weather for everything here, don't we? Here in the UK, the weather is a big talking point. Oh, isn't it cold? Oh, isn't it hot? Oh, it's too hot. I'm going, shush. Remember the winter? So, hoping that it's not going to rain all weekend when we go. It's forecast for rain, but, fingers crossed it won't rain all the time. We don't have much luck with the weather when we go away. We always seem to pick the one rainy week out of the whole month. We've got friends who go and they have a lovely week, the week before we go, and then other friends who go afterwards. And they have a lovely week, and the week we go, it's always raining. Oh, we still manage to have fun. Yeah, lots of walking and mountains. Maybe kayaking we'll be doing this time as well. Do I want to go there? I don't know how far up to go with the flowers. It's like a little meadow of flowers. Oh, do I want to do 2? I want to do 2. This is quite, I've only got like 2 strands on here, so it's needing a bit more knotting. So you're going to let me know in the comments if you are new to needle felting. Have you tried it before? Do you enjoy it? Have you got any tips for me? I know I'm going to get one of them needles that has like lots of things on, because I'm sure that's going to be much quicker and less stress on the old, you know, the arm. So I do feel like it's quite, you know, I mean, I think it'd be fine if you're doing like animals and like maybe eyes and things on animals. But as we've established after I did my mermaid, I'm not very good at people. I'm not. And I'm quite happy with that. I don't really want to do people. I much prefer like sort of these sort of landscape things and random stuff. Random stuff's the best. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to come back and do some more, I think. Got lots of this. Yeah. I'll show you how far I've got with my Little Mermaid book in a minute. It's almost finished. Almost. I'll finish off this thread and I'll show you how I'm doing with it. I think I've got about 3 pages to go on it. But that scrap bag doesn't seem to be going down at all. Very strange. Good job, I like the colours. Right, I think I'm going to call it. Yeah, it's getting a bit difficult to do the knot. There we go. Let's tie that off. I think it's coming along. Right, so there we go. I've done a few more of those, and I went and fetched my Little Mermaid journal book. It's not finished. I'm going to show you some bits that I've done. See, there's a bit not finished. So I've sort of joined these together like this. And that's this page isn't done. This is another one of them messy pages. I love those. This just was, you know, some Hessian burlap, whatever you call it, on. Another, like, clustery thing. I'm just using these scraps up. So, yeah, we are almost finished. So I will show you that completely finished next time. And, yeah, it's been great fun. But obviously, it's not as much fun for you guys watching because the views have been quite awful for them. So, not quite sure. Not quite sure, but these things happen. And I'm quite happy to stop and do something different. So I'm just adding some grass or stems. I don't know what they are. I'm just going to do some little straight stitches. Nearly. And you could do them like this. You could just come up. They don't have to match into the flowers. You just do random lines and then it will just look like they're flowers. It's quite abstract, really. It looks like a picture, but it's quite abstract. And we'll just do a few of these. You can go in all different directions like this. And in fact, I could just turn this round and come back down a different way, like that. Go over there. You know me, I turn my work round and round. And I'm going to do this in a few different colours. So, if you're a beginner, do you think this is something you can do? I think you can do it. And if you don't want to do it with needle felting, if you're like, well, I can't do it, I haven't got any needle felting, you can use fabric. You could put some netting on. You could I might add more because I like the bottom where I've done all the stitching. I may have to do some stitching on the top yet. I'll have to think about it. I don't know whether to add maybe some fabric. I don't know. I'm going to finish this thread off. And then we'll have a look. Right, I've gone across. I've got some left, so I am going to just use it up. I'm not going to waste that little bit of thread. I'm too frugal. It's not going to happen. It might happen because now I'm stuck over this side. I'll just do some little stitches on the way back, like this. Just some little ones. Not going anywhere. Just random bits of grass. Oh, there we go. And what happens when I decide that I'm only going to do one more stitch? Yep, the needle comes unthreaded. Every time. Oh, I'll just do one more. No, the one more is the one that breaks the camel's back, as they say. So we'll come down and finish that off. Okay, right. So let's see what we can do with this, because I'm not entirely happy with that. I don't think that's going to... I don't know what it is about needle felting. I don't think it's going to stay on. You know, it feels like it's going to come back off. I mean, it shouldn't. But what I thought I might do is just some maybe horizontal-ish, like... Oh, where did the green come from? Hello, where did you come from? You got attached to my white. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sort of, what we're going to do, I know what we'll do. We'll do one of these. I should have only used a thin bit. I'm going to do my little rope stitch which I need to sort of get going because I've forgotten again. Honestly. Memory like a sieve I've got. Oh, I know how to do something one day and then the next day it's gone. Luckily, I do the same thing every day at work, so I can remember what I'm doing. If I haven't done it for a few, for a little while, then I do get like, how do we do this again? But, we're all of a certain age and we all have the same sort of, problem with the memory. So I think I'll stretch that a little bit far then. Doesn't matter. We'll just come back. Oopsie daisy. Yeah. It's quite funny because some days somebody will go, I've forgotten how to do it. And then the next day somebody else will go, I've forgotten how to do it. Be great to have that young brain again, wouldn't it? Do you know what I'm going to do? I think what I'll do is I'll come back down. Just here. And I might come back up here and do another one. And this can be like the moonlight. Oops. Now, what I want is a little sort of wavy line. And this can be like the moonlight shining. Who knows if this is water or sky? Doesn't matter. It's just representational. And it's your picture, your art. You just do it your way. Oh, what have I done? I've got like a loopy thing going on down there. Oopsie. I'll just pull it through to the back in a minute. I'm going to go back again. This is my version of stem stitch, by the way, in case you don't recognise it. I'm not worried about what stitches they are and what they do. I'm just stitching because it's fun and I'm very curled up. And that's all that matters. It's just a hobby. I'll come back down here and do another row. Only because I've got more on my... I quite like the idea of reflections. And I am wondering if our scrappy book should have a theme, but I don't think it should. I think we should just go with whatever random pieces we pick. We just enjoy ourselves and use up our scraps. I'm pretty much finished with that bit. And I'm just going to do a few more green leaves, grass or stems or whatever you call them. Whatever they want to be, that's up to them. I'll just stitch them. Some people will see grass, some people will see stalks. Oh, before I put that away, let's just bring this loopy one back. There we go. I'm not worried it'll come out again, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Right, I've got some darker green, just a little bit of it. I'm just going to go across, maybe from about here. I haven't got much. And we'll just add a couple more little bits. I think I should have done more grass and less sky. So I hope you found it a useful video and that you're going to have a little go at a bit of mini art. Do two different things together. A bit of needle felting, a bit of slow stitching. Why not? Why not add them together? It's good to experiment and see if things work. You might find a completely new thing that you want to do. Okay. I think this video may be a bit shorter than normal, but as I said, I've got quite a busy weekend coming up, so I am going to have to get a shifty on. Okay, couldn't resist. I've added a little bit of purple to the sky, and I think it's looking really cool. And I made a little frame just to put round it to see what I think. And I think that looks really cool. For a first go at little mini art, I think I like it. Thank you so much for joining me this week, guys. And I look forward to next week when we're going to be starting our scrappy book. Get out your scraps and your threads and let's use some of them up. Bye for now.